Hey everyone, welcome back to the show. I'm Alex.
And I'm Emily. Really glad you're here today because this one is personal for a lot of people.
It is. So, Emily, I'm going to say a sentence and I want you to notice how your stomach feels. Ready? Here it is. I don't think my boss likes me.
Oof, yeah, that one sits heavy. Because it's not just about work anymore. It follows you home. You're lying in bed on a Sunday night, replaying a look they gave you in a meeting.
Exactly. And almost everyone has felt it at some point. That quiet worry that the one person who decides your raise, your projects, your future, just isn't a fan.
So that's today. Your boss doesn't seem to like you, and you want to fix it. You want their respect. We're going to talk about how to actually earn it, and just as important, how to know when you should stop trying and walk away instead.
And I'll be honest up front. Most of the advice online about this is soft and useless. Smile more, do good work, communicate. Thanks, very helpful. We're going to skip all of that and give you the stuff people usually only learn after 15 years and a few painful bosses.
But first, one big idea that changes everything. And I wish someone had told me this at 22. You are chasing the wrong thing. You don't need your boss to like you.
Say more.
Like is about friendship, warm feelings, whether they'd grab a coffee with you. And sure, that's nice, but it's not what protects your job or gets you promoted. The thing that does that is respect. And respect at work is a very different animal. Respect means, I can hand this person something and then I can stop thinking about it. That's it. That's the whole prize.
I love that, because it takes the pressure off. You're not trying to become their best friend. You're trying to become someone they can rely on and forget about. And honestly, managers don't promote the people they enjoy the most. They promote the people they can stop worrying about.
The people they can forget about, in the best way. Write that on your hand.
And here's why this topic is so worth your time. The language of managing your boss travels. These words are truly international. Say, I'll keep you posted, or no surprises, or here's what I'd suggest in London, New York, Singapore, Sydney, or Dublin. And any manager on earth relaxes a little. They think, oh good, this one's easy to work with.
Managing up. That's the phrase, by the way. Managing up just means handling the relationship with the person above you, on purpose, instead of just hoping it goes okay. And nobody teaches it. They teach you your job. They never teach you how to work with the person who grades it.
So here's the plan. First, we figure out what's really going on, because my boss doesn't like me is often not what you think. Then, the moves that actually build respect. Then, the darker stuff. What to do when your boss steals your credit. How to tell when it's not you at all. It's just a bad boss. And the big one, how to know when it's time to quit instead of keep earning something that will never come. Grab a tea, let's go.
Okay, step 1. And people skip this and it costs them years. Before you fix anything, you have to figure out what's actually wrong. Because my boss doesn't like me usually hides a very different problem.
Right. When people feel disliked, they imagine it's personal. She thinks I'm boring. He thinks I'm not smart. But 9 times out of 10, that's not it at all. Most of the time, you're not disliked. You're just a little bit hard to manage, and you can't even see it.
So what does hard to manage actually look like? Let's be specific, because this is the useful part.
Here's the big one. You make your boss chase you. They have to ask twice where things are. Any update on that? Did you send it yet? Every time they have to come find you, a tiny bit of trust drips away. Not because you're bad, but because now they have to remember your work for you. You've become one more thing on their list.
Oh, that one's huge. Managers live in a state of low-level worry about everything that might be falling through the cracks. If you are one of those cracks, even a small one, you make them anxious. And people don't warm to the source of their anxiety.
Another one, you bring them problems with no plan. You walk in and go, "We've got an issue with the supplier." Full stop. And now it's their problem to solve, and you've just handed them a rock to carry. Do that a few times, and they start to dread you walking over.
And a sneaky one, you surprise them. Bad news at the last second. A deadline that quietly slipped and you didn't say anything until it was too late. Managers can forgive almost any problem if they see it coming. What they can't forgive is being blindsided, especially in front of their own boss.
So here's the reframe. Before you decide your boss dislikes you, ask yourself, honestly, am I easy to manage or am I a little bit of work? Do they have to chase me? Do I hand them problems or solutions? Do I surprise them? Because if the answer is, yeah, maybe, then good news. This isn't about your personality, it's about your habits. And habits, you can change fast.
And that's the hopeful part of this whole episode. A personality is hard to change. Habits, you can fix in a week. Most "my boss doesn't like me" problems are actually "my boss can't fully relax around me" problems. And those we can solve.
So let's build the trust. And the number one move, the foundation of everything, is simple to say and hard to do. Become the person with no surprises.
No surprises. If your boss knew only one thing about you, you'd want it to be this. This person always tells me early. Good news, bad news, doesn't matter. They hear it from you first, in time to do something about it.
And there's a tiny habit that does most of the heavy lifting here, and almost nobody does it. The end of week note. Every Friday, or whenever your week ends, you send your boss 3 or 4 short lines. Here's what I finished. Here's what I'm working on next. Here's anything I'm stuck on or worried about. That's it. Takes 5 minutes.
And it feels too small to matter. But from their side, every Friday, one person just tells them where everything stands before they have to ask. You've handed your anxious manager a moment of calm once a week with your name on it.
You become the easy one, the quiet one who's always handled. And here's what happens over a few months. They stop checking on you. And when a manager stops checking on you, that's not them ignoring you. That is the highest compliment they can give. It means, I trust this is done. That's respect you can measure.
There's another piece to being easy to work with, and it's about matching how your boss likes things. Every manager has a style. Some want every detail. Some want the headline and nothing else. Some live in email. Some want you to just walk over and talk. Most people deliver in the style that's comfortable for them. Smart people deliver in the style that's comfortable for the boss.
So watch them. How do they talk to you? Short messages or long ones? Do they ask how or just when? Copy that. If your boss writes you 3-line emails, don't reply with 3 paragraphs. If they want the big picture, don't drown them in detail. It sounds small, but being easy to receive is a real form of respect. You're speaking their language instead of making them learn yours.
And none of this is fake, by the way. We're not teaching you to be a robot or a suck-up. We're teaching you to lower the friction, to be someone whose work doesn't cost your boss extra energy. That's genuinely kind, and it happens to be exactly what earns respect.
Now, being reliable gets you in the door, but there's a level above reliable, a move that turns a boss who tolerates you into a boss who protects you. And almost nobody thinks about it because it means looking one level higher than your own job. Let's talk about your boss's boss.
This is the move I wish I'd understood 10 years earlier. Your boss has a boss, and your boss is being judged all the time by that person. Every day, quietly, someone above your manager is deciding whether your manager is a safe pair of hands.
And here's the thing most people never connect. The easiest way for your boss to look good to their boss is to have a team that makes them look good. So when you make your manager look reliable to the people above them, you become gold. You're not just doing your job anymore. You're making their reputation.
Let me make that real, because it sounds abstract. Imagine your boss walks into a meeting with their director. And because of the work you did, Clean, on time, no surprises. Your boss gets to say, "Yep, that's handled. My team's on it." They look calm. They look in control, in front of the person who decides their future. You did that. You gave them that moment.
And they feel it. Maybe not consciously, but a boss who looks good because of you will fight for you. They'll protect your job when times are hard. They'll put your name forward for the good projects, not because they suddenly like you, but because you've become part of how they win.
So, a very practical version of this. Never let your boss get surprised in front of their boss. If there's bad news coming, get it to your manager privately, early, so they're never caught looking clueless in a room full of senior people. Protect them from that specific kind of embarrassment, and they will never forget it.
And the flip side, the fastest way to lose a boss forever is to make them look bad up the chain. Correcting them in front of their director, going over their head with an email to their boss without telling them, even if you're right, especially if you're right. Make your manager look small in front of the people they answer to, and no amount of good work buys that back.
Praise up, feedback down, and private. If you think your boss made a mistake, you tell them quietly, one-on-one. In public, you make them look good. That's not being fake. That's just knowing where the landmines are.
Let's get into the day-to-day talking because respect is built in 100 small conversations, not one big one. And there are a few specific moves that change how a boss hears you.
First one, stop bringing problems. Start bringing problems with a plan attached. Instead of, "The client's unhappy, what do we do?" Try, "The client's unhappy. I think we should offer them X. I can start today if you're good with it." Same problem, but now you're not handing them a rock, you're handing them a decision. You've done the thinking.
And notice, you don't have to be right. Your plan might be wrong, and they might change it. That's fine. What they're really learning is, this person thinks before they knock on my door. That alone puts you ahead of 80% of people.
Here's a small one that punches way above its weight. Instead of asking, "What do you want me to do?" which sounds a little helpless, say, "Here's what I'm planning to do. Any red flags?" You've flipped it. Now you look like someone who takes ownership, but you're still giving them the chance to steer. Bosses love that. It's confidence without arrogance.
And when you mess up, because you will, everyone does, be the first one to say it. Walk in and go, "I made a mistake on this. Here's what happened, and here's how I'm fixing it," before they find out some other way.
This one feels terrifying, but it's magic. Because think about what a boss is secretly asking about every person on their team. Do I have to watch this one? When you report your own mistakes with the fix already in motion, you're answering that question. You're saying, "No, you don't have to watch me. I watch myself." And that is deeply, deeply reassuring to a manager.
The person who hides mistakes has to be supervised. The person who owns them can be trusted. Same mistake, completely different future.
One more, and it's about your body and your voice, not your words. When your boss talks, actually listen. Not the fake nodding while you plan what you'll say next. Real listening. Ask one good follow-up question. People, and bosses are people, can feel the difference between "I'm waiting for my turn to talk" and "I actually heard you." Being truly listened to is rare, and it builds a strange amount of goodwill.
Okay, let's go somewhere darker, because it's not always about you improving. Sometimes there's real unfairness. And the classic one? You do the work, and your boss takes the credit.
Ugh, this one burns. You stay late, you crack the problem, and then in the big meeting your manager says, "So what I did was," and your name is nowhere. And you're sitting there, quietly on fire.
So first, the calm truth. Don't start a war over it, especially not in the moment. Blowing up makes you look emotional and makes them defensive, and you'll lose. But you also don't just swallow it forever. There's a smarter way.
The quiet fix is visibility, on purpose. Not bragging, just making sure your work has your fingerprints on it naturally. Send the update yourself so your name is on the email that goes around. Say we and I in the right places. When I built this, I found in normal conversation, not defensively. You're not fighting for credit. You're just making it harder for your work to look like it appeared from nowhere.
And here's a subtle one. Get a little visibility beyond your boss. Have a normal, friendly working relationship with one or two people outside your direct line. A colleague in another team, your boss's peer. Not to go around your manager, just so you're not a total secret. So your work is seen by more than one set of eyes. A person whose value only one other human knows about is a person who's easy to erase.
But, and this matters, notice whether it's a one-time thing or a pattern. Every boss occasionally forgets to pass the credit. That's human. Let it go. But if it happens again and again, if it's systematic, if they consistently take your wins and hand you their losses, that's not carelessness. That's character. And that tells you something important, which brings us to the next question. Because here's the thing we have to say clearly. Sometimes it really isn't you. Sometimes you can do everything in this episode perfectly for months, and it still won't work. Because the problem isn't your habits, it's them.
And you need to be able to tell the difference because it changes everything you do next. So let's name the signs that you're dealing with a genuinely bad boss, not a fixable situation.
Sign 1. The goalposts keep moving. You do exactly what they asked, and suddenly, that's not what they meant, and the target has shifted, and nothing is ever quite enough. If you can never win, not because you're failing, but because the finish line keeps sliding away, that's not a standard. That's a game you're not meant to win.
Sign 2. It's just you. Watch how they treat other people. If your boss is warm and fair with the whole team and only cold with you, okay, maybe there's something to fix. But if they're dismissive or harsh or belittling, and you notice they do it to a few people while protecting their favorites, that's a pattern about them, not about you.
Sign 3. Credit up, blame down. Your wins float up to them. Their mistakes roll down to you. Every single time. That's not bad luck. That's a system, and you're the one holding the bag.
Sign 4, and this is a serious one. They keep you in the dark on purpose. They leave you out of meetings you need to be in. They give you a job and hide the information you'd need to actually do it well, setting you up to fail, quietly, so there's always a reason to keep you down. That's not a tough boss. That's someone who benefits from you looking bad.
And sign 5, the one that's not even a debate. Humiliation, shouting, insults, making you feel small in front of others. Anything that leaves you shaky. There is no career goal on earth that requires you to absorb that. None. That's not a respect problem you can solve by being more organized.
And when you see these, you have to stop asking, how do I earn their respect? Because that question assumes respect is available if you just try hard enough. With a boss like this, it isn't. Some people don't withhold respect because you haven't earned it. They withhold it because keeping you down is useful to them. You can't outwork that. You can't be reliable enough to fix a person who needs you small.
Which takes us to the hardest, most important question in this whole episode.
When do you stop trying to earn respect and just leave? Because this is where people get stuck for years. They keep pouring themselves into a well that has no bottom, hoping that this month, finally, it'll be enough.
So let's give people a real way to decide, not just follow your heart. Here's the honest test I use.
First, give it one genuine, full effort. Not a half-hearted, well, I tried. A real 90 days where you actually do the things in this episode. No surprises, plans not problems, making them look good, owning your misses. And you track it. Write down your wins somewhere. Real, objective results.
And here's the key. After those 90 days, look at what moved. If your boss is basically a reasonable person who is just stressed or didn't know you yet, you'll see it shift. Maybe a little, but it moves. They soften. They hand you something bigger. The door opens a crack. That's a boss worth staying for.
But if you did all of it, really did it, and got objective wins and nothing changed, if the goalposts just moved again, then you have your answer. You've run the experiment. The problem was never the thing you could control. And now staying isn't patience. It's just hoping a person will become someone they've shown you they're not.
There's a second test, and it's about your body, not your career. How are you outside of work? Are you sleeping? Do you dread Sunday evenings week after week for months? Are you shrinking, quieter, smaller, less like yourself? Because a job is supposed to cost you effort. It is not supposed to cost you your health or your personality. When it starts eating those, the math has already changed, whatever your job title says.
And can we kill a myth? Leaving is not losing. Somewhere we all picked up this idea that quitting means you failed, that you should be able to win anyone over if you're good enough. That's pride talking, and pride keeps people in bad rooms for years. Sometimes the smartest, strongest move, the grown-up move, is to walk to a place that already values what you do.
And here's a career truth nobody says out loud. Sometimes the fastest way to gain respect is to change rooms. In a job where you're already labeled the one the boss doesn't like, that label sticks to you no matter what you do. People see you through it. But a new company? Nobody's got that story about you. You walk in clean. Your reputation resets to zero, and you get to write it fresh. A fresh start can do in 1 month what 2 years of trying couldn't.
Now, one honest word of caution, because we love you and we're not just going to tell you what feels good. Before you quit, do one gut check. Is this one boss, or is it every boss? Because if you look back and every single manager you've ever had didn't like you, if the story is always the same and only the company name changes, then leaving won't fix it, and you owe it to yourself to look inward first. One bad boss is bad luck. A pattern across all of them is a clue about something you can actually work on.
That's a hard mirror, but it's a kind one. Because if it is a pattern, that's fixable too. It just starts with you, not with quitting. But if you've had good bosses before, bosses who respected you, and this one is the exception, then trust that. You already know what respect feels like. You're not imagining the difference.
So, to put it simply, give it a real 90 days. Watch if anything moves. Check what it's doing to your health. And make sure it's this boss, not every boss. If you've done all that and the answer is still no, it is completely okay to go. In fact, it might be the most self-respecting thing you ever do.
And if you do decide to go, go well. This part matters more than people think, because how you leave follows you.
So, rules. 1. Line up the next thing first, if you possibly can. Anger makes people quit in a blaze of glory with nothing lined up, and then panic sets in. Quiet and planned beats dramatic and broke, every time.
2. Don't burn it down on the way out. However much you want to finally tell them exactly what you think, don't. The world is small. That boss knows people. Your future employer might call them. Leave calm. Leave polite. Leave with your work handed over cleanly. Let your exit be boringly professional.
Because here's the quiet revenge, and it's a good one. The best answer to a boss who didn't respect you is not a speech. It's you, 6 months later, thriving somewhere that does. Calm, happy, doing great. They don't need to hear how you feel. Your life becomes the message.
And keep the good people close. Get a reference from a fair colleague if your boss won't give one. You're not just leaving a job, you're keeping a network. And bridges are cheap to keep and expensive to rebuild.
Okay, let's pull it all together because I don't want this to just be a nice chat you forget by lunch. Emily, walk me through it. It's Monday morning. Someone listening feels like their boss doesn't like them. What do they actually do this week?
First, I'd stop and be honest with myself. Before I decide I'm disliked, I ask, am I easy to manage or am I a little bit of work? Does my boss have to chase me? Do I bring problems or solutions? Do I surprise them? 9 times out of 10, that's where the real answer is hiding.
And if it's your habits?
Then I fix the cheap, powerful stuff first. This Friday, I send the little end-of-week note. Done, doing, stuck. I become the person with no surprises. When I bring my boss something, I bring a plan attached, not just a problem. And when I mess up, I'm the first to say it, with the fix already moving. I'm making myself the one they can forget about, in the good way.
And going a level up?
I start thinking about my boss's boss. I make sure my work makes my manager look reliable in the rooms I'm not in. I never let them get blindsided in front of their director. I praise up, and I keep any criticism private. I become part of how they win.
And if, after a real effort, it's still cold?
Then I switch from earning to diagnosing. I watch for the signs it's not me. Moving goalposts, credit up and blame down, being kept in the dark, being treated worse than everyone else. And if I see those, I stop asking how to earn something that was never on offer.
And then?
Then I run the 90-day test. I check what it's doing to my sleep and my confidence, and I ask the honest question, is it this boss or every boss? And if I've done the work and the answer is still no, I let myself leave, calmly, with the next thing lined up, no bridges burned. Because sometimes, changing rooms is how you finally get the respect you were breaking yourself trying to earn.
Emily, that's the whole thing, start to finish. And notice how it goes from fix yourself all the way to it's okay to go. Because real advice holds both. Sometimes the answer is a Friday email, and sometimes the answer is a new building.
And if some of that flew past you, don't worry, come back to it tomorrow. The second listen is when it really lands.
All right, we're going to let you get on with your Monday, but one small thing to actually try this week, because doing beats listening.
Here it is. This Friday, send your boss the note. 3 lines. What you finished, what's next, what you're stuck on. That's the whole task. Watch what it does. Watch how your boss softens just a little, because for once, they didn't have to come find out. 1 email. It's the smallest lever with the biggest pull in this entire episode.
And then come tell us in the comments how it landed. Did they reply? Did something shift? We read every single one, and honestly, these stories are our favorite part.
If this helped you today, do the usual. Like the video, subscribe, and send it to that one friend who's been miserable about their boss lately. You might change their whole week. New episodes twice a week.
Next time, another topic you asked for, so don't wander off too far. Thanks for spending this time with us.
Be the one they can forget about, in the best way. See you next time. Bye, everyone.
Take care.